Hi, this is Michael Clark, and I'm sitting here with Bruce Musik.
Hello, hello.
And we've just been sitting here in the beautiful Le Meridian Resort in Bali, and it's a nice afternoon, and we've been talking about the power of internet marketing. And Bruce, I've just found out, is one of the world's leading internet marketers for his products that he's been doing recently. He's seen some massive growth of his results. He's actually in one day turned over greater than $10,000 in one day. So as a result of the huge success he's been doing lately, I've been asking some challenging questions about what it takes to achieve success.
It's been challenging me, haven't you?
I have been. And
camera woman.
Yeah, now we have Laura Clark is behind the scenes here recording this.
Are you guys related?
No, actually.
No, it's Clark
it's
with an E.
I'm without
without
an E.
Oh, that's a say.
You know, and so basically we've been discussing this, and Laura's actually challenged Bruce here and said, you know, you've given us some good information about the autoresponder tips so far, but she said, okay, great, imagine you're 12 months into it. Imagine you've got 12 months experience of already doing autoresponding, and not just autoresponding, but internet marketing. Laura was saying, what would be the advice you would give someone who knows stuff that you just couldn't read, stuff you couldn't pick up from other people? It only comes from having a few years' experience of doing it.
All right.
So, please, Bruce, what do you think?
Okay, so we're going to talk about some tips for writing autoresponders. And the first tip, he was saying it's stuff that you'll only learn with a few years' experience. Well, get a few years' experience. Right? That's the first tip. Write. You want to be writing at least once a week, writing an autoresponder once a week. Write varying lengths from 500 words. Some of mine are 3,500, 4,000 word autoresponders. And you'd say, well, why would people want to read a 4,000 word autoresponder? Well, because I give so much value away in my autoresponder. So tip number 2 is give value. Sit down and write down whatever your topic. You ask a question?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I love what you said about T. Harv Eker, about his philosophy. It's not under-promise and over-deliver, it's
over-promise and over-deliver. So you want to kind of take that philosophy, over-promise and over-deliver when you're writing. Write down you can write down a list of like 50 different topics you could write autoresponders about. You could do this in an hour, very easily. And look at whatever your topic is and see what are the things that what's the information that surrounds your topic that people want to know. The best way to do is to survey your list first and ask them what their biggest problems are. And then write autoresponders around solving their problems for them and then pointing to your product at the end of the autoresponder, send your sales page. So if you can solve somebody's problem, they're going to want to read your autoresponders every time they come in because they're going to know there's a great autoresponder in there.
Yep.
Secondly is test your headlines. Right? So somehow you want to track your open rates and try out different headlines and see which ones get the most opens. Because you could write a great autoresponder, but if you've got a crappy headline and nobody's opening the email, nobody's going to read it, and you're going to suck. And a great way to start is copying other people. So, like one of my mentors is Evan Pagan, known as David D'Angelo in the dating advice business. And he has this great website, doubleyourdating.com. Go sign up to his newsletter. And I just copy his headline. So where he's got 4 tips to, pick up a woman in a bar, I go, like in my law of attraction, 4 power tips to manifest the big things today, or something. Like, you just you can take his headlines and start to turn them into your own by adding your own topic to it. So that's another one, is do great headlines. What else have we spoken about? Add value, give free stuff away. Not only just in your value, but give gifts away. If you can, in your autoresponders, have a little gift every now and then, people will start to open your autoresponders because they start to associate them with freebie stuff. So they'll go, oh, and they'll actually open and read.
Yep.
Remember, in your autoresponders, very often you're not selling a product, you're selling a click. So you need to become good at selling a click, not a product. Right? You want to get them to click through to your sales page where there's the Bulldog sales letter happening. And we spoke about Labradors and Bulldogs earlier. The Labrador is the friendly writing style, and the Bulldog is the buy now, hard sell writing style, and you never want to mix the two together. So you want to sell a click, and then get them to the sales page and have them buy your product from there.
I'd just like to say on that point, I forgot your name, sorry.
Bruce.
Bruce.
We've only been friends for how long? 2 years.
We'll edit that one out.
But Mark's his name,
one of the tips that he's talking about is a very important distinction to make around the psychology of sales, is that be very clear on what the sales steps are. So each of those points that you have along the process, if you are looking to influence to be able to just click on the button to make that click to go to the next page, be very clear and intentional about that. a lot of times people get the whole sales process mixed up in itself, and they get it all contorted, and they're not too sure. And if you're not clear of what your outcome is for that particular message, people won't be on the other end as well receiving it or reading it.
Great. Just give me another point. Edit, 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 edit. Do not stop editing. Sometimes I'll spend an hour writing my autoresponder and then another 2 hours editing it, just to take out all the fluff. You want to make sure there's no unnecessary words in there, that every word counts. So you've got jam-packed with value copy, so people aren't reading fluff. Take out words like the and things that don't need to be there.
Yeah.
You know, like if you've got I still can't think of what example off the top of my head, but I'll go through and I'll reword things and rewrite them so that it's totally clear. Also make sure you check your copy to make sure it can't be misunderstood. Like very often people will use prepositions like the and that and it, and people aren't clear. It could be 3 possible different things they're talking about.
3 things that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, so you want to be really clear so people, you know that people are understanding what you're saying, and the best way to do this is give it to somebody else to proofread. So I give it to my wife, who's very critical and has a highly trained critical eye, and she goes through and checks it all out for me and makes sure that it's top notch. And then put it aside for a week and come back a week later and read it and edit it again, because then with a fresh mind you're going to have taken some distance. You can come back and see it objectively, because very often after spending 4 hours on one piece of email copy, your head's up your ass. You don't know whether you're Arthur or Martha. You don't know whether it's good or bad. You know, along the way. So there's some tips for writing. Great autoresponders and great email copy. And I'd say probably the biggest one is practice, 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 and copy other people who are great. That's why it's called copywriting, because you've got to copy other people. Anyway.
It's a play on words for you.
So this is Bruce Musik, and I got to punt my website now. Go sign up to my newsletter at www.relaxandattract.com, and I'll give you lots of gifts, and you'll be able to see lots of my autoresponders giving away huge value and demonstrating these techniques. Relaxandattract.com.
Thanks, mate. Nice speaking with you, Bruce. Laura, thank you for this opportunity, and speak to you soon.
See you soon.